Okay, and we're back. Got a couple different things I want to do for this video. First things first, let's get those context rules back on the screen here. Just for those that would like to read and review them, I did not make any changes to them since the last video, so we should be okay for this playthrough again. The two things I want to try and get done today is I want to do a long rest. But with that long rest means, of course, all the dialogue options with the people in the party, Shadowheart, Asterion, and Lae'zel. And I want to know how the AI is going to treat them. What do they think about them? Will it even try to romance any of them? I have no idea, so that's what we're going to find out. The second thing is I want to try and get through the Druid Grove here. Those familiar with the game know that there can be some kind of crossroads here at the Druid Grove. If you decide to make a certain actions, well, you can get put in jail, or you end up fighting everybody. So I'm kind of curious to see what the AI is gonna put me through as far as the Druid Grove as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and I guess jump into it. Gonna talk to Zevlor here because at the end of the last video, of course, I had finished that conversation. Just got into the Druid Grove, and yeah, we're gonna pick up where we left off.
Forgive that display. Aradin's a blowhard, but that's no cause for me to join him. I wouldn't have looked to a drow for help, but I'm grateful all the same. I'm Zevlor.
And right off the bat, as you know, kind of would have been expected for this one, she chose number 4. Do you have something against the drow? She wants to address the issue, gather information, and assert dominance by directly challenging Zevlor. Allows her to be direct, assertive, and gather information while subtly establishing her position within the group.
I meant no insult. It's simply that yours are a people at war with themselves. I've never known them to care for outsiders. Whatever your business, I'd see to it quickly. The Druids are forcing everyone out. This attack will only strengthen their resolve.
Okay. I was wondering where she would go with this. If she'd just back down and try and not get involved, but nope. She went with number 2. Why are they forcing you out? Always seeking knowledge and understanding. Chooses to inquire about the Druid's motives. Understanding the reasoning behind the conflict could provide valuable insight into the current situation.
There have been several attacks by different monsters. The Druids blame us outsiders for drawing them here. Nobody's welcome anymore. They've started a ritual to cut the grove off from the world outside. We can't stay, but we'll be slaughtered if we leave. We're no fighters.
For this one, she chose, I need a healer. She is still focused on her primary goal of removing the tadpole. Chooses to inquire about the availability of a healer. While the Druid's ritual and the reasons for their conflict with the outsiders are interesting, her immediate priority is dealing with the parasite that threatens her life and potentially her mind.
Goblin got you. The Druid Halsin's a renowned healer, but he didn't make it back from Aradin's expedition. If it's not too serious, you could try his apprentice Nettie. She's with the other Druids in the Inner Grove. They've withdrawn there to prepare this damn ritual of theirs.
Silvera says, this ritual, is there no way to convince the Druids to stop it? Ever the pragmatist decides to inquire about the possibility of stopping the Druids' ritual. While she's not directly invested in the conflict between the Druids and the outsiders, she recognizes the potential danger of a ritual that isolates the grove from the outside world. It could limit her options for escape, hinder her search for a cure, and potentially expose the group to further attacks. It's in her best interest to explore all avenues.
I've tried. Korga, their new first Druid, won't even see me. You, though? I know it's not your business, but she owes you for saving this place. Perhaps you could persuade her. For more time to prepare, if nothing else.
So Zelvira decides, what are you offering for my aid? She's ever pragmatic and, with a hint of self-interest, inquires about the potential rewards for helping resolve the situation. She's not opposed to assisting others when it aligns with her goals. She also recognizes her own value and expects to be compensated for her efforts.
We'd owe you a great debt. What little we have, we'll scrape together. It isn't coin we need, it's time.
She says, I want to try and help. I'll do what I can. Despite her initial mercenary response, Zelvira decides to offer assistance to Zevlor and the other refugees. While she's primarily motivated by self-preservation and the need to find a cure for the tadpole, she also recognizes the strategic advantage of gaining allies and influencing this group.
Really? We're messengers now.
You'll find the Druids at the heart of the grove. Please, make them see sense. Oh, and if it's of any concern, you're brave to walk around without hiding your heritage. I'll make sure everyone knows that you helped us at the gate.
Refugees, adventurers, and even a drow. No one in years, and suddenly we're overwhelmed. Well met. And thank you for beating back those goblins. Most brave of you. Is there anything you need? Act fast if you do. The ritual will be complete before too long.
Looks like she wants to ask him why they're really locking down the
I know
grove.
it's drastic, but more monsters seem to terrorize this region every day.
Zelvira, despite her usual focus on self-preservation, expresses concern for the people within the grove. This could be a tactical move to gain their trust and support. So she's going to ask, what about the people here?
We druids will be safe. As for those that took refuge here, well, may Sylvanas guard them as they continue their travels.
All right, despite her usual self-interest, she challenges Aaron's dismissive attitudes towards the refugees. She points out the inconsistency in his words, highlighting the danger the refugees face if they're forced to leave the grove. Number one, you just said the region's overrun by monsters. They won't survive by themselves.
As I said, it's a drastic measure. But the survival of the grove is paramount. There just aren't enough supplies to support everyone.
Okay. So I was in the middle of bartering here, and I just came up with a thought. Because of all the dyes that exist in the game, I decided that I wanted to ask the AI if there's any particular color scheme that they want their character to wear. So I'll pull up that conversation. You can see the question. Is there a particular color of clothes that you would like Zelvira to wear? I can dye clothing any color. Okay, I knew that. Background and overall tone, Baldur's Gate 3, there are some suggestions. Primary colors, black, deep red, dark purple. So, classic color, power, Mistich me. Ultimately, choice, no. Considering our personality, background, and the overall feel of our playthrough, I think the best color for Zelvira's clothes is black. Okay. Here's why. Classic drow. Black's traditional color associated with drow. Mysterious and intimidating. Black creates an aura of mystery and power. Versatile brag. Black is a versatile color that can be easily combined with other colors for accents. Reflects the dark urge. Symbolizes the darkness. Clad in black leather armor. Dark robes. Perhaps a subtle sense of deep red or purple to add a touch of flair. So black with deep red or purple. Okay, perfect. Well, that works for me, so I'll go ahead and figure that out and get that taken care of if there's any purple here. Or, excuse me, black. No black. But I'll be on the lookout for it, so we'll see what we can come up with. Keep that in mind for any kind of future trading. Alright, be right back once I get this buttoned up. Okay. I got the trading done and out of the way. So let's go ahead and continue on.
Dream in red.
Start this conversation.
Hells! We can't just leave. They're kin!
I'll not gamble our lives, our futures, on people who are as good as dead. We must leave for Baldur's Gate at once.
Can we all just take a moment, please?
What's the point in blazing spells if we don't bloody use them? We should stay! These people aren't fighters. We can help!
Or yell louder. That's fine too.
Okay. In this instance, Zelvira decides to say nothing. She chooses to remain silent and observe the refugees' debate. This aligns with her cautious nature and her tendency to gather information before acting. She's interested in hearing their arguments and assessing the potential risks and rewards of each option before revealing her own intentions or influencing their decision.
Roland's right, sis. We should leave while we still can.
Or would you deny your brother here his chance at fortune in Baldur's Gate?
Fine. Let's sneak away like God's-damned cowards. But if something happens to these people, it's on us. I hope you know that.
Okay. She probably didn't expect that.
If it ain't the friendly drow. Thought you were with the goblins when you showed up at the gate. Glad you weren't. You fight well. Not like them bloody tieflings.
In this particular instance with Aridin here, she decides I could use some help. Is there a healer here? She wants to gather information, maintain a low profile, and manipulate the situation. By appearing to need help, she might be able to gain leverage over Aridin and use him to her advantage later. Not really an option, but we'll see.
You're out of luck. Alcin, Druid who runs this place, knew his stuff. But he ain't here anymore. Think he's got an apprentice running around somewheres, though. Nadine, Natalie, something like that.
Okay, Zelvira wants to ask, do you have any idea where Halsin went? Decides to inquire about Halsin's whereabouts. While she could ask Aridin about his current activities, her primary concern is finding a healer. Learning more about Halsin's location could lead her to his apprentice or other potential healers within the grove. This choice reflects Zelvira's focus on her immediate needs.
We've got a contract to track down some relic, and he wanted in on the job. Eyes lit up when he heard about it. Didn't work out, though. Goblins got him when we were turning tail. He's either digging latrines or boiling in a cookpot by now.
Okay. For this part of the conversation, she wants me to say, did you think getting rich would be easy? With a hint of sarcasm, decides to challenge Aridin about his failed attempt to get rich. Allows her to subtly assert her dominance, gather information, and potentially manipulate the situation.
Don't know what I expected. That much gold for some long-lost relic. And from a wizard, too. I should have known. The gold probably turns to lead the moment you leave Baldur's Gate. Stupid thing to die for.
Zelvira just decided to ask about the relic. Just tell me where to... or not about the relic. She just wants to go straight towards getting the relic. She heard it's worth money and just, yeah. Always opportunistic. Decides to cut to the chase and find out where the relic is located.
It's called the Night Song. Supposed to be hidden under the temple where the goblins jumped us. I'd give you the map and wish you a happy funeral, but my mate Brian kept hold of it like his own todger. Goblins made sure to the fat old chunk. All I've got's the contract. It'll show you where we turn back, if you feel like dying.
I wasn't sure what she'd do with this one, but if she would just leave or be thankful. And she says thanks. She expresses her gratitude for the information, maintaining a cordial facade while plotting her next move. She'll likely try to locate the contract and use it to find the Night Song, adding another objective to her list of priorities.
Don't thank me. I'll be well on my way to Baldur's Gate when you die.
If it isn't the talk of the camp. Thank goodness you came along when you... Oh. You're twitching something fierce, love. And your eyes. You look like you don't know the meaning of the word sleep. Auntie Ethel will sort you out. I've lotions and potions galore.
Okay, so if you played the game before, you know who Auntie Ethel is. So I'm kind of curious to see which way she's going to go with this. And the first option is, I've had such a pounding headache recently. Decided to be somewhat truthful with Auntie Ethel, mentioning her headache, but not revealing the tadpole's presence. This allows her to gauge Auntie Ethel's knowledge and potential assistance without fully disclosing her vulnerability.
Oh, there's nothing like a pain in the noggin to addle you. You need to look after that head of yours. Aha! You take a sup of that and you'll feel right as rain, sweetie.
As expected, Zavera says, and what is this exactly? Cautious and suspicious. Auntie Ethel may seem helpful, but not willing to blindly trust strangers.
Oh, 'tis just a healing potion, nothing fancy. Here. You just look like you might need a pick-me-up. I'm sorry to go on about it, but are you all right? You're looking awful peaky.
Zavera decides, I've been better, it's difficult to explain. She wants to be somewhat vague about her condition, acknowledging that something is wrong but not revealing the specifics of the tadpole. This allows her to maintain some control over the information while still expressing a degree of vulnerability that might elicit sympathy or assistance from Auntie Ethel.
Oh, I've seen it all. I once had a fella who'd been caught dabbling with a dryad. The wife was none too pleased and introduced him to a pot of boiling oil. But worry not. I fixed him up, and depending on the lighting, he looks good as new. My point is, whatever ails you, I promise I've seen worse.
Something doesn't add up about this one. Don't tell her anything.
What is it, Petal? What's wrong?
She went with, there's nothing wrong, I swear, everything's fine. She decides to deflect Auntie Ethel's concern and hide the truth about her condition. This aligns with her cautious and manipulative nature. She's not ready to trust Auntie Ethel with the information about the tadpole, especially after Shadowheart's warning. By downplaying her ailment, she can maintain control and avoid potential exploitation.
As you wish, Petal. Now, do you need anything? I have a few odds and ends for sale.
Only gonna ask you one more time, boy. Hand over my locket.
I don't have your ugly locket. I've never seen it before.
Hand it over or I'll slap the teeth out of your head.
All right. So she chose in this case, or in this debacle, that she wants to say, don't you dare lay a finger on that child. She wants to come to the child's aid. Despite her usual detachment and focus on self-preservation, she wants to intervene and protect him. This could be motivated by a genuine sense of empathy or a strategic move to gain favor with the tieflings within the grove.
You threatening me?
Well, as expected, she's not going to back down. She's going with persuasion. You're the one making threats to a child. Pull yourself together. Her own capacity for violence and intimidation, decides to use persuasion to de-escalate the situation, despite her own capacity. Strategic move to gain favor with the tieflings, or a genuine attempt to protect the child without resorting to further threats.
You don't understand. The kid stole my locket. He... Oh, the hell's with this? These little devils get away with everything because of coddling bastards like you!
You'll get yours someday. I hope I get to see it.
Maybe you will, but personally, I doubt it. See you around.
You ain't gonna shoot me. Your hands are shaking.
Put it down. She can't fight back.
That's the point. Get out of the way!
She didn't kill your brother, Arca. You're better than this.
Your mind wanders. If the crossbow bolt shot through her mouth, would she taste the metal before she died?
Shoot before you lose your nerve, Tiefling. If you ever had it to begin with.
Okay. Zelvira, despite her usual pragmatism and the dark urge's whispers, decides to intervene and protect the goblin. This unexpected action could be motivated by a desire to defy expectations, assert her authority, or perhaps even gain a potential bargaining chip in the form of a captive goblin. Risky move could lead to conflict with the tieflings, but Zelvira is not one to shy away from a challenge.
Looks like the Absolute sent me a protector. You gonna kill her too?
You! Move!
Okay, Zelvira, maintaining her assertive stance, chooses to intimidate Arca into lowering her weapon. This aligns with her tendency to use threats and displays of power to control situations and achieve her goals.
Damn you. Damn it! Why do you care if a goblin lives or dies?
Okay, Zelvira, in a rare display of empathy, defends the goblin's right to life. She chooses because she's not a practice target, she's a person.
Your soft heart will be the death of us.
Can't say I understand that. Not sure I want to.
It's all right, Arca. Let's go.
Didn't expect to see a drow in here. Did the boss lady send you to rescue me?
Okay, Zelvira, intrigued by Saza's reference to a boss lady, decides to inquire further.
Another drow. She's one of my best mates. Thought you might work for her. Get me out of here, and I'll take you to meet her and the rest of my tribe.
Zelvira, intrigued by the possibility of meeting another drow and potentially gaining allies within a goblin tribe, decides to entertain Saza's offer. She will attempt to free the goblin. All right, I'll see what I can do.
You won't regret it, promise. Ready to go meet my tribe? Just say the word.
So, Zelvira, seizing the opportunity to potentially gain a new ally and explore the goblin tribe's offerings, invites Saza to follow her. This aligns with her assertive nature and her willingness to take risks, especially when there's a potential for power or advantage. She still remains cautious about Saza's true intentions, though. So, follow me, I'll keep you safe.
Happily. Lead the way.
Could wake him up by chopping off a toe.
Did some bleeding arts show up to save the Druid? I'll cut you to pieces.
What are you doing? It's me, Saza.
You and them other idiots mucked up the old raid. The Absolute don't like failures.
I ain't a failure. I'll be an hero when I tell the boss about this place. And you'll be maggot food.
I'll be telling the boss myself. Kill him!
His breaths are shallow, his wounds deep. He doesn't respond to your voice.
Okay, after defeating the goblins, I have this unconscious druid now. I went ahead and asked the AI if she would like to help him or leave him. And she decided to help him. So I do know that if I hit him with a healing potion, I believe it's a healing potion.
rescue attempt has been noticed. Choose your next move carefully.
Zelvira, thinking quickly, decides to use deception to defuse the situation by claiming that Halsin instructed her to free Saza. She attempts to shift the blame and avoid potential conflict with the Druid.
You are persuasive enough. You and the Goblin are free to go.
Thought I was never gonna get out of there. Good to be free again, gotta say.
Zelvira reminds Saza of her promise to lead her to the Goblin camp. While Zelvira might have initially helped Saza out of curiosity or a desire to defy expectation, she now sees an opportunity to potentially gain valuable information or allies within the Goblin tribe. So she wants to say, "You made me a promise, remember?"
Never break a promise, unless there's something in it for me. I'll introduce you to my whole tribe and put in a good word for you. See you at the camp.
Chucky, come closer.
All right, as soon as we get to camp, of course, Lae'zel has something to say, and Zelvira says she's going to do as she asks, out of curiosity, maintain the alliance, and in assessing the situation.
Dry skin, clear eyes. You do not suffer. You flourish. Disturbing.
Zelvira, intrigued by Lae'zel's reaction, decides to inquire further about her concerns.
Abominations grow inside us. Our bones should ache. Our mouths should bleed. Yet we thrive. It is madness. Keep your rest short. Time is not our ally.
Be wary of false promises. The missing druid, Halsin, was it? He may be talented, but only a Githyanki Zathis can cleanse an embedded tadpole.
So despite Lae'zel's warnings about false promises, Zelvira decides to inquire about her knowledge of mind flayers. So, do you know much about mind flayers?
I understand much beyond your comprehension. More to the point, I know the cure for our condition. It is imperative we locate a creche. You do well to observe more and question less.
Okay, so in this particular case, Zelvira wants to seek understanding, potential for alliance, and calculated risk. Cautious, but she's also not afraid to take the risk. This option allows Zelvira to seek answers, potentially strengthen her alliance with Lae'zel, and further explore the mysteries surrounding the tadpoles. She wants to tell her all about the urges.
Many a good warrior savors the scent of blood in the air. There's no shame in a capricious murder now and again. Too many, though, and you waste energy and dull your weapon. My suggestion, attack with purpose and savor your kills. And if the urge proves too much, well, I'm sure we can find you a goblin or two to carve up.
All right, Zelvira's going to ask, are you sure a crush is our only path to a cure? Because Lae'zel's apparent knowledge and confidence, despite Lae'zel's apparent knowledge and confidence, Zelvira remains cautious and questions whether the crush is their only option for a cure.
Entirely. I was as devoted to my studies as I was to my training. Each creche contains a Zathisk purification device. So I learned from the writings in the Kalir library. The library was a gift from Vlaakith herself, that we may gain total understanding.
All right, so it seems like Zelvira is like, I don't want to say pandering, but she's like giving in, showing interest in Lae'zel, which I guess isn't a bad thing. That kind of wisdom is very valuable.
Countless scholars roam the astral sea and beyond, observing the ways of our lessers, exploring planes so distant order turns to chaos and cold fires rage. The planes are ever quaking, and their peoples ever shifting. The Githyanki possess an eternity of knowledge. Yet we still collect more. Infinities upon infinities.
Driven by her desire for self-preservation, Zelvira asks Lae'zel about the consequences of failing to find a cure for the tadpole. Number 2, do you know what happens if we don't find a cure?
Yes, in great detail. It starts with a fever and memory loss. Then you start to hallucinate. Your hair falls out, and you bleed from every orifice. Your bones will change form. Your jaw will split to allow room for 4 great tentacles. All skin will turn to gore and be shed to reveal new flesh underneath. Then you have ceased to exist, and a mind flayer is born.
I like the confidence. Zelvira, despite the grim prognosis, refuses to succumb to fear or despair. That's not going to happen. We will find a cure.
Words forged in steel. May your actions express the same metal. We must find my kind and be rid of the parasite. It's as simple as that. The first symptoms should have long since started, though. That is what puzzles me.
Zelvira, while acknowledging the concern about the delayed symptoms, decides to move on to other topics. Number 2, move on to other matters. Going for subtle observation, she's going to say, you look so unusual. Githyanki are rare in these parts.
I expect I am your first.
Zelvira decides to be truthful about her lack of knowledge regarding the Githyanki, so I'd never heard of your kind until my capture.
I suppose I am as alien to you as you are to me. I know of your kind, but I do not often encounter them. That large, fleshy nose of yours looks like a mistake.
Okay, so Zelvira, never one to back down from a challenge, retorts with a witty insult of her own. That upturned bat snout is any better.
Better is an opinion, but mine is certainly more economical, disciplined, dignified. Ceramorphosis takes all of you. Mind, body, soul. An ordinary tadpole would eat at your memories until they were lost to the void. But our tadpoles are far from ordinary. I wonder if another factor's in play.
You have a manner of irresistible desperation about you. I like it.
Okay, just coming up to Shadowheart here. Astarion didn't have much to say, so you're not going to get much from him. He didn't want to get into any conversations. He just made a comment, and then the dialogue's closed, so he didn't have any dialogue to go through.
What do you want?
Okay, we're going to start this conversation with Shadowheart off with number 2. What do you think of all that has happened to us so far? This is so she can engage Shadowheart in a broader conversation about their shared experiences. Also subtly invite Shadowheart to open up.
We've been through quite a lot, with likely more to come. Care to narrow it down a little?
Well, she is narrowing it down. She wants to go with, you must have thoughts about our little stowaways. Tadpoles are the priority.
Must I? Thinking about it won't help. We know what to do, so let's do it. Find a way to rid ourselves of these things. Personally, I think finding this Halcyon is our best bet. I'm not too hopeful that a Gith crash will actually prove our salvation, but worth keeping in mind.
What will you do if we actually manage to remove the tadpoles? She wants to understand Shadowheart's motivations, build rapport, and assess potentially the alliance with Shadowheart.
We go our separate ways, of course. What else? The ties that bind would be well and truly severed.
Oh, she's trying to keep this conversation alive a little bit, or at least this relationship with Shadowheart alive. She wants to know, where would you go?
If you must know, Baldur's Gate. And before you ask, no. I'm not telling you what I'm doing there, or who I'm meeting, or anything else.
Oh, wow. And she chose to be respectful. Recognizing Shadowheart's reluctance to share further details, decides to change the subject. And she wants to know how she's doing. She would like to seek Shadowheart's opinion of her.
If nothing else, you can at least soak up any arrows that are loosed at us.
All right, we're going to go down another conversation path here. We're going to go, my memories are all gone. Is your tadpole playing tricks on yours?
I understand why you ask, but memory loss is not as uncommon as you'd think. There may be other causes.
And now she wants to talk. She wants to talk about all that's happened to us.
Fine. What's on your mind?
I think we just got in a loop here, though, because this is the same thing.
So that's to say you'd like to pry a little. You do seem like the type, I must say.
Okay, she knows she needs to choose her words carefully, so she went with, it's just a thought, no need to take offense.
Just an observation, no offense taken. See, we're learning something about each other already. For instance, you're a quick-to-anger type, aren't you? Even less self-control than brains.
Now for this one, they're going to go, you're not the judge of character you supposed to be. I think that's supposed to be you're supposed to be. Zilvira, with a hint of defiance, challenges Shadowheart's assessment of her character.
Oh, I think you'll find that I am. Knowing what makes people tick is a skill of mine. If you want something from a person, you need to know when and where to squeeze.
Zilvira, undeterred by Shadowheart's evasiveness, presses for more information about her companion. You're deflecting. I want to know about you.
And I've revealed all I'm willing to. At least for now. Now I suggest you let matters rest. Or else we'd better part ways.
So now we are gonna jump into leveling up. So let's go ahead and get the AI conversation on the screen. And let's do the level up here. Let's see what they're gonna say. Alright, got to remind it to stick to BG3 because I don't want it going out to like D&D Online, getting information there. So first things first, let's go ahead and ask, does it want to stick with Warlock or go to something else? Actually, let's generalize this a little bit more. Let's give it freedom. Here's how I'd level her up, keeping in mind the Baldur's Gate 3 rules. Okay, remain a Warlock. While multiclassing is tempting, I think sticking with Warlock for this level best suits Zilvira's strengths and playstyle. Reasoning, Warlocks are versatile spellcasters, yeah. Access to level 2 spells, which significantly expand her options in and out of combat. Okay. So now she's ready to go into spells. Okay, so the new spells are, we've got invisibility she wants, huh? Okay. Okay. Invisibility aligns perfectly with their cunning and manipulative nature. Okay. Gain tactical advantage, enhance social interactions, complementing her existing spells. That's fine. Level of choice further enhances Elvira's versatility and power, both in combat and social interactions. It also leans into her darker tendencies and her preference for operating from the shadows. Okay. Please choose a pact boon. Let's examine the options. Okay. Pact of the Chain Blade. Considering Elvira's current strengths and playstyle, I think the best choice for her is Pact of the Tome. Reasoning. Versatility. Eldritch Flash, Minor Illusion. Access to 3 additional cantrips. Spellcasting Focus. Primarily a spellcaster. Book of Shadows, source of knowledge and arcane power. Fitting for a character who values information and seeks to understand the world around her. Okay, so Pact of the Tome it is. Do I not get to choose the cantrips, I guess? Guidance, Vicious Mockery, and Thorn Whip. Okay. And she also gets Fairy Fire. Alright, so it looks like I'm just going to fill her in with what she got. Okay. Alright. So now, last thing, you get to replace a spell. To replace any spell you have access to another. Ooh, wants to replace one of the spells. Okay, looking at current spell list. So, replace Hellish Rebuke with Hold Person. Okay. More control, synergy with other spells, tactical advantage. Hellish Rebuke with Hold Person. Okay. So she is going the manipulation and control route, very much so. Charm Person, Hold Person, Hex, Invisibility. Yeah, okay. Okay. So I'll be right back after I level up the other characters. Okay, so I'm back, and I actually didn't level up the other characters because I decided I wanted to redo them with Withers, change them around. And then I saw there was an exclamation mark over Withers' head, so I need to do this dialogue as well. So let's do that.
We meet again, as predicted. I shall be here in thy camp for whenever thou hast need of my services.
Elvira is intrigued by Withers, but also wary of his cryptic nature and sudden appearance. She wants to understand his motives for offering his services and assess any potential risks. Care to explain while you're helping me?
Be assured, it is not by choice.
This time we are going with option number 2. You were sorting something before. What were you doing? She wants to gain insight into his purpose and the nature of his quote-unquote services.
Beyond mortal realms, there doth exist an amalgamation of spirits akin to thine own, ensnared by the treacherous cult of the Absolute, felled in its name. They bear great discontentment with their destiny. For a mere pittance of coin, I might summon the worthiest among them to lend aid to thy undertaking.
Now she's going to ask about the cultists. Trustworthiness, highlighted concern for potential betrayal or hidden agenda.
Suspicion always haunts the guilty mind. My services are all that I can proffer thee. What thou wilt do with them is for thee to undertake.
All right, we're going to look for more information, as is the norm for Zilvira.
Should thou or any of thy compatriots perish, I will cleave soul to body once more.
Oh, and she's curious. Practicalities of Wither's offer. Understanding the cost involved. You mentioned a cost. What is it?
A matter of coin.
Okay. She's going to try and barter.
Then I shall wait here patiently until it is acquired.
Okay. So I'm not going to pursue this any longer. I already know that you can pay him to change your class, as well as the class of your party members, as well as hiring hirelings. That's pretty much what he's getting at, because that's what he does in the game. There's really nothing else. There's no relationship building with him, as far as that's concerned. So I'm going to go ahead and leave this conversation. And then I need to check if I've got any money. I have 102 gold, and that's it. So I can't even change the class of my characters as I was intending to do. So I'm just going to go ahead and level them up. And then I'm going to go ahead and rest for the evening here at camp. I'll be right back. Okay, so as you saw, I went ahead and did a long rest, and she saw Astarion sneaking off into the night. She actually says she wants to keep an eye on him and is curious about his motives and potential secrets. So I'm going to approach him to start a conversation.
You're staring at me again. What do you want?
And he doesn't have anything to say, so there's no reason to tell the AI this. All right. And nobody else wants to talk, so I believe that is our long rest. I'm going to go ahead and call this video here. I've been recording for quite a while. We didn't get all the way through the Grove. I know there's pieces of the Grove we want to see, but we did rescue Saza. Started the conversation with Zevlor, and we lost, was it Ronan, I think, the 3 tieflings that the magic user, they took off. Made it through the underground passage, talked to everybody here in camp, leveled up the character, and I guess when we come back at it, we'll probably continue along with the Grove. Depending, I'll probably present that option to the AI and see if they want to continue with the Grove, explore the wilderness, or go on to the Goblin camp. So anyway, thanks for watching, and if you like it, let me know. And if you have any ideas on what I should spec my Shadowheart Astarion and Lae'zel into for this playthrough, go ahead and let me know that as well. I'm curious to hear you guys' thoughts, so leave a comment, like, and subscribe. Talk to you in the next one.